Ghostbusters is probably one of my favorite movies of all time. I have a list of movies I absolutely love. At the top of that list is the original Ghostbusters and the sequel, Ghostbusters 2. I enjoy it. I know it's not as good as the first one, but I still like it. And we got a new Ghostbusters movie coming out in November, Ghostbusters Afterlife. It was supposed to come out in 2020, but the bug delayed its release. So I'm also excited for Ghostbusters Afterlife. And don't get me started about that movie that came out in 2016. Doesn't count. I also enjoyed playing Ghostbusters, the video game, in 2009, which technically at the time, in my opinion, was the third Ghostbusters movie. But we do have, apparently, another Ghostbusters game in the works, and I'm not exactly excited about it. Friday the 13th, the game developer working on a Ghostbusters game. This is from IGN, article linked below in the description section. Illfonic, the developer behind Friday the 13th and Predator Hunting Grounds, is working on a Ghostbusters game. Okay, so Friday the 13th was alright. It had its issues. I enjoyed playing it with some friends of mine. So I did love playing Friday the 13th. It definitely had a lot of love and care and attention to detail when it came to the Friday the 13th franchise. It's a shame that that lawsuit kind of ruined Friday the 13th, the game. But at the same time, I know that there's a loyal Friday the 13th, the game fan base out there. So that game, it's okay despite its flaws and issues. But Predator Hunting Ground is absolute trash. Illfonic Studio co-founder Raphael Saadiq casually revealed the title in a recent interview on the music podcast Questlove Supreme. Saadiq let slip that the company is working on a Ghostbusters tie-in after being asked how many games the studio was currently out. Friday the 13th is the last one, Predator, and we're also working on Ghostbusters right now, Saadiq says, before quickly moving on to talk about the studio's most recent project, Aggregating, whatever that is, which is currently available in early access and out in 2022. Sony published developers' previous tie-in game, Predator Hunting Grounds, and also owns the Ghostbusters franchise, so news of the studio work on a game may not feel too far out of realms of possibility for many fans. After all, who else is Sony gonna call? Oh, so funny, IGN. While it's still speculation at this point, Illfonic's involvement may point to a kind of game we're getting. The studio's previous movie tie-in projects were both asymmetric multiplayer games, with both Predator Hunting Grounds and Friday the 13th seeing one player control a formidable enemy who must defeat a group of other players controlled by survivors. Are we looking at Busters versus a Ghost game? Hopefully not. In recent years, Ghostbusters had few attempts at video game adaptations. 2019's Ghostbusters the video game remaster was the last entry to enter into the franchise, and even with the re-release of the game that was made 10 years previously, while Ghostbusters brand has featured varying degrees of add-ons for the games like Fortnite, Planet Coaster, fans of the Supernatural series will feel that fully fleshed out tie-ins is long overdue. Like I mentioned, I'm very excited for the Ghostbusters movie coming out, Ghostbusters Afterlife. Definitely going to be going and watch that, hopefully sometime in November. I think November 19th when it's supposed to officially finally come out. So, regarding Illfonic, I would like to believe that they're going to make a good Ghostbusters game. I'm sure they'll throw a lot of stuff into that Ghostbusters game. Easter eggs, and there'll be attention to detail and love and a feel and a vibe of Ghostbusters. But the gameplay itself, I have a bad feeling about this, especially if, just like the writer of the IGN article said, that it could be a little too similar to Predator Hunting Grounds or Friday the 13th, the game. To be honest, I feel like the studio that did Ghostbusters, the video game, the original version in 2009, Terminal Reality, which developed the versions for PC, PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, which is, by the way, backwards compatible to Xbox One, and probably backwards compatible to Xbox Series as well. I need to try it out because I still have my copy of Ghostbusters, the video game from 2009. Redfly Studios developed the PS2, PSP, and Wii versions of Ghostbusters, the video game. I feel like that Ghostbusters game is the best Ghostbusters game, except for maybe like back in the day, I think Nintendo or Super Nintendo had at least one or two really good Ghostbuster games that I enjoyed when I was a kid. Along with Ghostbusters, the video game, there's also a multiplayer mode. I don't know if anyone else played it besides the story mode. Back when it first came out, people were playing the multiplayer for like 5 or 6 seconds. And the idea was you and a team of Ghostbusters would go into these various maps and take out ghosts, catch the ghosts just like the Ghostbusters do. It was okay. The replayability didn't last very long. So is that what Illfonic has in mind, where somebody will play the ghost and everyone else will be Ghostbusters? And it's up to the ghost to escape or the Ghostbusters to stop the ghost. It'll be quite interesting to see if that actually can work. I mean, I guess if it's done properly and if the gameplay is really good and the graphics look great with the original score from the movie, it could be good, but at the same time, it's Illfonic we're talking about here. And even though people love Friday the 13th, the game, it still has bugs and issues and has been basically abandoned thanks to that lawsuit that I mentioned. And the less said about Predator Hunting Grounds, the better. But at the same time, I just don't see how Illfonic's Ghostbusters game, which is only in talk right now, it may be out as early as 2023 or 2024, or maybe it'll never come out because obviously they're working on a different project which is supposed to be out in 2022. So they have one other game they're working on right now for a 2022 release, which means we're at least a year or longer out from this theoretical Ghostbusters game. But if you're looking for a Ghostbusters game, look no further than the original Ghostbusters, the video game, which once again came out in 2009. I absolutely love playing through it. Hell, eventually I might play through it again. And my playlist is up on the channel, FYI. One thing I really love about it is at the time we only had 2 Ghostbusters movie, plus a couple cartoons, including the real Ghostbusters. And Ghostbusters, the video game, actually felt like the long-awaited sequel to Ghostbusters 1 and 2. It takes place a few years after Ghostbusters 2. There's definitely tie-ins to the first 2 movies. And most of the main cast from the original movie return, like Harold Ramis, rest in peace, as Egon, Dan Aykroyd, along with Bill Murray, Ernie Hudson, Annie Potts, along with William Atherton. And there was a few other actors and actresses involved with the cast of Ghostbusters, the video game as well, including some of the writers, Dan Aykroyd, as well as Harold Ramis, who wrote the scripts for Ghostbusters and Ghostbusters 2, also helped writing the Ghostbusters video game. And just as the IGN article mentioned, the remaster of Ghostbusters, the video game, was released October 4th, 2019. Not as good, in my opinion, as the original version of the game. Fortunately, I still have that. And it's backwards compatible from 360 to Xbox One. And I'm definitely trying it out on Xbox Series X. But anyways, I don't really exactly have much hope or faith in Illfonic with their track record. Now, this new game they're working on could turn out to be awesome and amazing. And maybe it gives me a little bit more faith in their abilities to make an awesome Ghostbusters game. But we'll just have to see if it ever actually happens. Plus, we got Ghostbusters Afterlife coming out in November. Very excited about that, which is technically going to be the 3rd official movie in the original Ghostbusters franchise. Either way, I'm definitely going to keep an eye on the development of this Ghostbusters game from Illfonic. Now, I want to know what you think about it. Are you excited that there's at least a Ghostbusters game potentially being worked on, even if it is Illfonic? Maybe they'll do a great job. Maybe it'll be another Predator Hunting Grounds. I sincerely hope not. And how do you feel about the Ghostbusters franchise? Are you looking for Ghostbusters Afterlife? And are you also a Ghostbusters fan? Your thoughts, your views, and opinions regarding Ghostbusters, the video game, the movie franchise, Ghostbusters 2009, the video game, as well as this Ghostbusters project in the works by Illfonic. Welcome below in the comments section.